Om Shri Sai Ram, offering our collective salutations at the lotus feet of our beloved Sadguru, respected elders, devotees from around the world, and students, Sai Ram and welcome to Day 7 of Satya Darpan. In his address yesterday morning, Sadguru began by quoting a verse from the Bhagavad Gita which declares that nothing in the world is as purifying as knowledge. Yet, he emphasized, such knowledge can only be attained by those who are truly sincere and deserving. To become deserving, one must nurture unwavering faith in the Guru and cultivate an intense longing for this knowledge above everything else. Following this, he elaborated on the nature of the self as described by Ashtavakra. Referring to a verse from the Dridrishya Viveka, he outlined that every object in the world has 5 aspects. Asti, it exists. Bhati, it is aware. Priyam, it is lovable. Namam, it has a name. And Rupam, it has a form. Suffering arises only when we mistakenly identify ourselves with the latter two. But when we transcend our name and form and identify ourselves with the self, we experience true freedom. Finally, Sadguru urged us all to develop that complete faith in our Guru and to put sincere efforts to attain that goal. Now, we request Sri B.N. Narasimhamurthy sir to address all of us.
Dearest Sadguru, brothers and sisters, very dear students, boys and girls. As rightly said by Prem Sai, 2 things are very, very important for us on this path of self-realization. One is complete faith in the words of the Guru. Second is intense aspiration to get freed from delusion. In the 2 slokas that Sadguru taught us yesterday, the 12th and the 13th slokas of the first chapter of Ashtavakra Gita, there are 2 key phrases. First is Brahmat Samsara Vaniva. Second is Abhasoham Brahmam Muktva. Both mean the same thing. What does it mean? You are already free. You are already Atma, Sakshi, Vibhu, Purna. Brahmat Samsara Vaniva. It is an illusion that you are thinking you are not that. You are thinking that samsara vaniva. You are entangled in this ignorance or the cycle of birth and death. It is just an illusion. Abhasoham. See, there is an abhasa. Abhasa is that though you are the self, though you are divine, though you are the Atma, because of the illusion, you are feeling that you are this body-mind complex. You are separate. That is at the root of all your problems, all your sorrows, all your miseries. Just get rid of the illusion. For getting rid of the illusion, first we have to develop the intellectual conviction. See, that is possible. See, getting experiential conviction, you have to get the experience. But experience, as Sadguru explained yesterday, Kalen Atmani Vindati. It happens. If your job is to get prepared to receive that gift of highest spiritual wisdom, it happens. But you have to prepare. See, what is the preparation? Preparation is, why should we not cultivate the intellectual conviction? Whether I'm a 14-year-old or 8-year-old, doesn't matter. First, developing the intellectual conviction. Yes, I am Atma, but it is illusion that makes me think I am not the Atma. How do you believe in this? Faith, complete faith in the words of the Guru. Why is Sadhguru telling us again and again the same truth he has been putting in different ways? So we have to believe him. See, that is very important. See, some of the boys, they were telling me, sir, it applies to Sadhguru, or it applies to somebody who is highly elevated, not me. It applies to everyone. Believe in the words of the, why should you not believe? See, many of the boys, when they are at crossroads, like they have completed 8th class, 9th class, they should go either to science or arts. They keep chits and ask Swami. Once he takes the chit, either believe in it. You believe in everything else, why not you believe in this? Believe. Keep on thinking, contemplating on it. It becomes an intellectual conviction with you. I am not this body-mind complex. I am divine. I am the Atma. See, that should percolate into your subconscious so that, you are sleeping and somebody wakes you up and asks, who are you? You should be able, if that intellectual conviction is there, you will be able to tell, I am the Atma. I am not this body-mind complex. See, that intellectual conviction translates itself into experiential conviction. In the sense, you get the experience. Once you are ready, you get the experience. And what is the difference between a jnani and an ajnani, master and an ignorant person? Swami gave a very beautiful insight into the inner working of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. See, this is a very, very beautiful thing for us to contemplate upon. Someone asked Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, I am very much troubled by the lustful thoughts all the time. Are you not troubled by them? He asked this question. And Ramakrishna, as he was childlike, absolutely childlike, he said this. See, it is not, you're a young man. It is not unnatural for you to get lustful thoughts. Don't think you're a sinner. Don't develop that kind of complex. Don't have it. It's natural. And you're asking me whether I get the lustful thoughts? Yes. We didn't deny. This is after he had realized God, after he had the darshan of mother. He said, yes. But what is the difference? A jnani also, when he is dealing with the world, when he is working with all of us, he also gets all kinds of thoughts, all. But what is the difference? We are not able to handle our thoughts, whereas a jnani is able to handle his thoughts. That is all the difference. Ramakrishna also gets lustful thoughts, even after having realized this self. But he knows how to handle them. Like he gave a beautiful example, Sadhguru yesterday, of a snake charmer and a snake. A snake will trouble us, but a snake will not trouble the snake charmer because he knows how to handle that snake. However poisonous it is, he knows how to handle it. See, that is all the difference. What does it mean? There is a path for us. If we also learn to handle our thoughts, we are progressing on the path. That's all. In fact, somebody like Sigmund Freud, who had a different point of view as compared to spiritual people. In fact, Carl Jung and he worked together. in the beginning, but Carl Jung broke away because he thought there is something very much higher than the mind, a spirit. So therefore he broke away. Even somebody like Sigmund Freud says this. What is maturity? Maturity is to postpone sense gratification. This is what he said. See what he is telling? You should be able to handle your thought. Just because some thought comes into your mind, don't put into action. Postpone it. See, that is handling. See, first you postpone it. You learn to postpone it. As Sadhguru was telling us, when wrong thoughts come, we don't look for what is the auspicious moment or day. When you want to do good things, you go and ask an astrologer which is the right day. But for doing wrong things, we don't. Postpone it. Postpone doing wrong things. So they evaporate. This is what Sadhguru also said, giving an insight into how his mind works. He said, thoughts arise in me also, but I don't give words to those thoughts. That's what Sadhguru said the other day. He said, not yesterday, day before yesterday, I think. He said that. Thoughts do arise in my mind also, but I don't give the words to those thoughts. Then naturally they disappear. He is established in a state of thoughtlessness, which is pure consciousness. But do the thoughts not come? Yes. Thoughts flow. He is only a witness. He is established in the thoughtless state. And finally, all thoughts disappear. Only one at one point of time, which Sathya Sai Baba said. I asked a question which is relevant for all of us. Every one of us, it is relevant. I asked Baba some 40 years ago, Swami, for those who are not aware of spiritual happiness, spiritual joy, they never experienced spiritual joy in their heart because they never developed that kind of faith in God or did meditation or japa, whatever. The worldly attractions are natural. But why even for spiritual aspirants who have experienced spiritual joy, spiritual happiness many times, why does mind get attracted by the worldly thoughts, worldly desires? I asked this question. Many people had asked this question till then, but nobody was able to answer. Why is it? I do know that I've experienced it this morning in my meditation, 1 hour, continuous bliss I have experienced. But there is no guarantee that my mind will not slip. Today, during the course of the day when I'm dealing with people, it may slip. Why does it happen? This is the question I asked. He said, Bangaru, Dvaita Bhavamu unde varaku idi tappindi kaadu. As long as you're feeling you're different, even if you are a jnani, when you involve yourself in action to help the world, you are in the jiva prajna. You are feeling that you are different. So then naturally, all kinds of thoughts will come. Only when you establish yourself in the state of Advaita, oneness, only then all this kind of weaknesses, desires, everything will fall off. Therefore, the first point is believe in the words of the Guru, develop intellectual conviction, strive to handle your thoughts, and that handling of thoughts becomes easy if you taste the spiritual bliss by being in the presence of Guru Sannidhi, being in presence of the Guru, by in your meditation or on a lap of nature. See, all this is possible. Then we can grow on the spiritual path. With these words, I conclude and pray to Sadhguru for his nectarine discourses on the Ashtavakra Gita. Thank you very much. Sairam to you.
Sahana Bhavatu सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
It is said in another Upanishad called Shvetashvatara Upanishad, Yasya deve para bhakti yatha devai tatha gurau tasyete kathita hi artha prakashante mahatmanah. Which means the one who has true bhakti, guru bhakti, just as one has bhakti towards the divine, to such a person when this truth is told, it will shine forth in that person's inner being. If this truth is told to just anybody, it won't make any difference to that person because they are not ready for it, they are not prepared, they do not have faith in the words of the Guru or the scriptures, nor they are eligible because they have never worked towards it. So simply telling something to them, it's not going to make any difference to them. But the one who has developed Guru Bhakti, Bhakti means only that is in your mind. There is nothing else that is in your mind. Your mind is completely occupied, engulfed in that one thought. That is bhakti. Ekatanata, it is said. One and only continuous thought is bhakti. It could be anything. Bhakti could be towards music, could be towards your country, could be towards your husband or wife, could be towards the society. All kinds of bhakti are there. Towards father, mother, Pitru Bhakti, Matru Bhakti, Desha Bhakti, Pati Bhakti, and so on. But the bhakti that is towards Guru, Guru Bhakti, is the key to unlock this treasure of knowledge. And how that bhakti should be, your Guru is equal to your God, because in fact, in one of the dohas, it comes, Guru Gobind dau khade, kake lagu paye, Balihari Guru Apno, Govinda Diyo Bataye. What he says is, there is Guru and then there is this Lord, Govinda, who is standing. Now I must prostrate to them. But whom should I bow down to first? And he says, I bow down to the Guru first because Guru is the one who has shown me God. Without Guru, I could not have seen God. So Guru is that way, should be revered first, even before God, because without Guru, I would not have known God. And as I mentioned earlier, there are two types of gods as per our Indian scriptures, Saguna Brahma and Nirguna Brahma. Saguna Brahma is the God with a name and a form. Yesterday we learned the 5 aspects of every being. Asti, it exists. Bhati, it's aware. Priyam, it's adorable, it's attractive, it's lovable. This is there in all, plus Nama Rupa, form and name. When form and name add to the previous 3, it becomes Jagad Rupam or Saguna or Sakara. So all these Lord Krishna, Rama and so many other Devis and everybody is nothing but form and name superimposed on the original Asti Bhati Priyam. Like necklace is the form and name superimposed on the gold with which it is made. If I melt away the necklace, what remains is gold. That gold part is like the Nirakara or Nirguna Brahma. Devava Brahmane Rupam, it says in our Brihadaranya Upanishad. There are 2 kinds of Brahman. One is the one with a form and the other is without the form. Without the form means the name and the form aspects have been taken away, because only if there is a form, there is a name. Without the name, the form does not exist. Without form, name does not exist. So Guru Bhakti teaches us to worship God. But which God, you may ask? It helps us worship both the gods, because there is no problem. If I see a necklace as a jeweler, I see gold only. And if I see a nugget of gold also, I see gold only. A lady may see the necklace and forget that it is gold. But the jeweler who knows the worth of it only by knowing the value of gold which is in it would only see it as a piece of gold. He is not attached to the name and the form. You sell it to the jeweler, he will melt it and make something else out of it. He is not worried, why did I melt the necklace? The one who owns the necklace, who sold the necklace might feel bad, oh, my necklace is gone. But for jeweler, he only measures the value of the necklace in terms of the gold that it contains. Likewise, Nama, Rupa are the necklace part of it. Krishna, Rama, or in our scripture, Shankara, and 33 crore devatas are there, saying India boasts of such a huge array of gods. The Naga devatas are there, Ishta devatas are there, Grama devatas are there, trees are also devatas, rivers are also devatas. Everybody we worship because we see the Nama Rupa part of the original Brahman. So if you remove the Nama Rupa, what remains is Nirguna Brahma. So Guru teaches you both. If you are going through Ashtavakra Gita where he goes on saying, this name and form is an illusion, it is abhasa, it is samsara and things like that. Yes, it is true because he is teaching us to see the gold where everybody sees only a necklace or a ring or a bangle or a chain. He is saying, yes, see the bangle and the chain because how do you use that gold? By making it to an ornament only you can use it. Just a piece of gold, you can't wear it and roam around. So there is a utility of name and form. There is a utility to God's name and form also, through which we are able to know the higher truth that it is gold. So Saguna Bhakti or Nirguna Bhakti, it's not at conflict in our scriptures. While there are other thoughts and philosophies where only Saguna is worshipped or only Nirguna is worshipped. And they are always at conflict, loggerheads. But our Upanishads or our Shastras do not have that problem. I was reading a story some time back of Paramahamsa Yogananda, who's young. When he was young, his name was Mukunda. And he was very interested in spirituality. His parents were also very great devotees of Maharaj. That time Yukteswara Giri Maharaj was there. And they are from the Parampara. So he ran away from his home without writing his exams, without studying, to join Yukteswara Giri Maharaj in his village to gain some knowledge. But Yukteswar Giri Maharaj turned him away. He said, you are not yet there. Go back, finish your studies. Your parents are very worried, you didn't tell them. Go back and I will call you later again. So he went back. Parents were relieved and they were happy that he found a good guru who has driven some sense into his head that should go back home. But after some years, once he finished, he again went to Yukteswar Giri Maharaj and he was just there for years. And Maharaj won't teach him a thing. He'll give him broom, clean the place, cook the meal, prepare the altar, all kinds of odd chores. And he was there, give me some jnana. I come here with the burning desire to know the truth and you are making me do odd chores like some servant. But Yukteswar Giri's ashram was like that. He distributed work to everybody and everybody was supposed to do their own work. But he was not interested. Till one day, it so happened that he had lost all his patience and he was getting angry and impatient with the Guru. And he thought, maybe my Guru does not know. Maybe I have mistaken him for a Jnani. He maybe does not have Jnana, therefore he does not know what to teach me and so he is simply making me do all kinds of things. When Yukteswar Giri read his thoughts, they were on the terrace of the building and Yukteswar Giri had given him a broom to clean up the fallen leaves and dust on the terrace. And this Yogananda was Mukunda still. He was doing that with all this anger penting up in his side, emotions inside him. My Guru is no good. And then Yukteswar Giri Maharaj says, I know what is going through your head. You are not ready for it. But you are doubting the Guru itself. So he takes that broom and gives one thrashing to Paramahamsa Yogananda. And immediately he loses his body consciousness. Dehabhimana disappears with that one strike of a broom. And suddenly he feels the whole universe is melting away in front of his eyes. Everything is merging into each other. The whole thing from the solid that he saw, it is becoming liquid and slowly it is losing all its shapes and forms and names. And a strange experience engulfs him. And he is extremely joyful in that state, where he cannot see names and forms anymore. It is all melted away into one continuous existence. And he realizes that this is the idea of getting rid of Nama Rupa. Because he did not get rid of his existence. He was aware that he is experiencing this. But he was not aware of the names and forms that existed anymore. He only experienced the Asti Bhati Priyam part of it and not the Nama Rupa part of it. And that immediately sent him into some kind of a blissful experience. The idea is that gurus are capable of many things. We must have bhakti. Like his bhakti was lacking because he has no patience with the guru. He wanted immediately the jnana. Like that man who comes to Shirdi Baba and says, give me Brahma Jnana. And Shirdi Baba tells him, yeah, I'll give you, wait. Then he calls Syama and says, I need 5 rupees, go and to the Chandu and ask him whether he has 5 rupees to lend me. And then this fellow goes, asks, he says, he's not there. Then he calls him and says, no, go to somebody else's, that Pant's place, and ask him for 5 rupees. He goes there also, doesn't, comes back and says he's not at his home. Shirdi Baba like that keeps sending the Chama here and there saying, get 5 rupees. And this rich man is sitting right there and saying, getting impatient because he has to leave. So he says, give me Brahma Jnana, give me Brahma Jnana. Then Shirdi Baba says, what Brahma Jnana can I give you? So far you saw me running around for 5 rupees. I sent him so many times to get 5 rupees. Not once it came to your heart that you can offer that 5 rupees from your pocket. You are having 250 rupees in your pocket. And then this man is shocked because he had 250 rupees in his pocket. But he did not have the heart to even part with 5 rupees for the sake of the guru, but he wanted Brahma Jnana then and there. Now that is what is called discipleship, which is not ready. They don't even know what they're asking. They're not ready to give up their attachments, their all the ideas of the world, but they want Brahma Jnana. It's not going to happen. It's like that Yukteswar Giri prepares Paramahamsa Yogananda for certain number and allows him to get rid of his ego and this idea, I must attain this, I must do this, that is the feeling that comes in the way of us and the knowledge. Absolutely surrendered and staying empty is the preparedness. Then Brahma Jnana happens. When we go to sleep, somebody asks you what you are going to do. He says, I am going to sleep. You are only going to sleep. It means you go to your bed, you switch off the lights, you prepare your bed, and then lie down. Then sleep happens to you. Sleep happens to you when you are fully ready in your body and mind. And what is the preparedness in the body and the mind, you tell me, for sleep? Your body is so tired that it cannot move an inch. So it just rests. And mind is free from thoughts. Only then sleep happens. With body moving here and there, shaking and turning and tossing, and mind running around the whole world, do you think you can get sleep? Then people take pills to sleep, to put their bodies at rest and minds at rest. That basically biologically or physiologically dulls you, melatonin, and then sleep happens. That's forced sleep. But truly, how do you sleep? When you get rid of your body and mind, then only you can sleep, isn't it? If your body is active, running around, mind is active, running around, how do you sleep? You cannot. So the preparation for knowledge is, as I mentioned, knowledge will happen to the one who is ready, who is prepared. And the first step in preparation is Guru Bhakti. Absolutely dedicated, devoted, surrender to the Guru is the first step. Beyond that, before that, nothing happens. Look at Janaka, how surrendered he is, sitting at the feet of Ashtavakra, asking right questions, and willing to let go of all that which will come in the way of the knowledge. And he has no impatience. Ashtavakra has been speaking 7 shlokas. Janaka has never interrupted him. He's just listening, unlike Arjuna, who keeps interrupting Krishna every now and then. Janaka has all the patience. He's waiting and waiting and waiting. That is why this story is so important, because it teaches us some very important values about discipleship, how one disciple should be absolutely surrendered and faithful to the Guru. And then jnana will happen because Guru is working on you subtly, he is preparing you, getting you ready. You think when you wake up in the morning and dress up and show up, it is not a preparedness. You are coming to learn, you are coming to see the Guru, you are coming to learn knowledge. It prepares you when you serve a guest who comes to the ashram. Yesterday Swati was telling. I told them, Atiti Devo Bhava, you have to live that adage. Simply don't chant like a parrot. Truly think I am coming in one form like that. And if you help make the guests happy, you will make me happy. You do that as your sadhana. So they don't come for the Ashtavakra classes, they are taking care of the guests. But they are doing what they are doing because I have told them to do that. Like Yukteswara Giri Maharaj told Yogananda, take this broom and clean the terrace. That's all is the job for today. Tomorrow I will tell you what else to do. So gurus have their own way. They know how prepared people are, and that's why they give them different kinds of odd chores to get them ready for the knowledge. Like you get ready to sleep, you wash your feet, hand, face, change your clothes, prepare your bed, switch off the lights, and then lie down on the bed and wait for the sleep to happen. So that preparation is what I go on telling. When you're studying in these institutions, working as Sevadal, volunteers or employees or staff, all the time be mindful that you must be preparing yourself. These are not just jobs to do. These are methods to prepare yourself for what's coming next. And if you do it with extreme sincerity, whatever your guru says, irrespective of that, then you will definitely attain the wisdom. When I was small, I was learning music, Hindustani. I had a teacher. She was very fond of me and she used to teach me with a lot of heart. In fact, the other students were quite jealous because she had given me a separate harmonium to go and practice separately in another room, while others had to share the harmonium. And people used to say, she's always partial to this fellow. She always gives him, and she'll give me a glass of milk after that, and badam, and so on and so forth, because she was fond of I was fast at learning. Then then there was a guru who used to come to see her. He used to come from Indore. We were in Madhya Pradesh then. So it was a night-long journey in the train, and then you have to change bus and so on. And her husband would go and pick him up from the bus stop in his bike, scooter then, and bring him home. And he will stay for 3 days, 3 nights, during which he will serve him and he will also teach something. And then he'll go off and he'll come only next month. One day she was telling me that her guru told, when he was a small boy, wanted to learn music, there were not many gurus. Today you have all online gurus who are teaching, like me, I am teaching spirituality, they are teaching music. There is no evaluation of the deservedness of the Shishya at all. Simply they are teaching. But then there was only few gurus, and physically you have to learn from them. So this man, old man, told the story. When he was a small boy, he was with a guru, his guru. And that guru, he was staying for many years, he stayed with him, but not learnt one sa also, he didn't teach him. He'll give him all jobs. Go get this, go milk the cows, clean the kitchen, get the firewood, tend to the garden, wash my clothes, even clean his excreta, because there were no toilets then. So when the guru goes to the toilet, somebody has to clean it up from there. He said, all this I did for years, but my guru did not teach one sa. Tested my patience. And finally, when he found that I was really interested in music, I was ready to go to any extent, including cleaning up his. Then he developed the faith that I am deserving. Then he started teaching me. And that's how he started learning. And then he learned what he learned, and then he was teaching to our teacher, and she was teaching to me. Then I thought, my God, if somebody asked me to do all this to learn music, I don't know whether I would ever do this. But that's how the gurus were. They also tested the disciples thoroughly. Simply Brahmagyana kodo barodalla. You have to be eligible for it. That is why I go on repeating. When yesterday I said this, today also I am saying this. Guru Bhakti and absolute dedication to Guru's command. Sometimes I tell people, go work in this campus, go take up this job. So our students get very upset. They feel, why should I give change? I was happy here, I was comfortable, now he's telling me to do here, do that. So I tell them, it's not just about running the institution, it's also teaching you a few things within. You get too attached to a chair, a position, a place, you get too comfortable with it. You develop roots, and then you get sticky. And then you have no detachment left anymore. You are so attached to that position and the comfort. Then I tell you, move from here, go somewhere else. Do something else. Restart everything. They get very upset. Just now I worked so hard for the last 5 years, set this whole thing up. And when I just set this up, you tell, go and do something else. And they get upset because they're young, they don't understand what I'm trying to tell them. But deep down, I'm teaching them absolute detachment. to any place, any person, any idea, any work. Be free like the space, the water, the air. But that doesn't happen easily. We as humans, our mind gets quickly attached to things. That is the reason why sannyasis never stayed in one place. If they stayed over more than one night, they are not allowed to stay. If they stay, they may develop friends, family, some kind of relationships and attachment to the place and the people, and then a comfort zone. Then all the spiritual progress is going down the drain. So they were always kept on the move. That's one reason why I keep people moving. I don't allow them to be in the same place doing the same thing for too long, because then they get very attached to the chairs and positions and more than anything the comfort. And I've seen young boys and girls, and I gave them responsibilities. First year they were very scared and very apprehensive because they didn't know what they're doing to do. But once they got hold of it, they developed confidence. After some time, self-confidence came. After some time, overconfidence came. It's because of me only all these things are running. If I am there, nothing will. That time I tell, move. Time to move. You are getting wrong ideas now. And I tell them, move, they get upset. But they don't realize that I'm not just making you run institutions, I'm also teaching you spirituality in a subtle way. When I tell you do this, you want to do something very badly, correctly, then I'll tell don't do this. Then you get very upset. And I've seen our students writing back to me, stinging messages and mails when they're not happy with my decision because they think this is not what they wanted. Because they're so attached to that idea or thought or whatever was there in their head. They don't want to change it. Like that, it happens to everybody. They are young, old people are also like that. So that time, Guru has to have some way to, I don't have a broom to go on bashing people. But you see all our avatars, all had weapons in their hands, did they not? Why? So that there is some bit of bhakti, bhaya bhakti ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಭಯ ಇರಬೇಕು ಆದರೆ ಭಕ್ತಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನೂ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Therefore, all gods in India, from Mahishasura Mardani to Shiva's Trishul to Vishnu's Sudarshana Chakra, to everybody. Why? They must have one, because mind is like that. It doesn't listen. Once it gets too possessed by its own ideas and instincts and its own thoughts, it doesn't listen to anybody. That is the Rakshasi Pravritti. To destroy the demons, gods take avatar, right? Most of the avatars which are hanging up on that stage are those who took avatar for a reason. They all had some weapon because they knew they'll come across people with such wrong attitudes, and to set them right, sweet talks won't work. Sometimes some hard talks are important. So that also is a part of Guru's job. What can you do? That is where you must have faith. Even if Guru is like that, you should know he's doing it for my highest good. Somebody wrote, what if the Guru itself is wrong? You caught hold of a wrong Guru in the first place. I said, like you deserve to be tested by the Guru, Guru also deserves to be tested by you. Test the Guru, and only if you find him real, find him correct, become a disciple. Otherwise, don't become a disciple. But once you have tested the Guru, allow Guru also to test you. It can't be just one way and not the other. So be willing to be tested thoroughly by the Guru also. Both ways it works. But again I say, if you are sincere, Shraddhavan, you will still achieve the truth. God will send you the right Guru at the right time, because you are so sincere about what you are seeking. That is why Guru Bhakti, I keep on telling all the time. Now we'll go to the shloka number 14, because we had already done the 13 yesterday, which Narasimhamurthy ji has already summarized for you. 208, page number. It says, Dehabhimana Pashena Chiram Baddhosi Putraka Bodhoham Jnana Khadgena Tan Nishkritya Sukhi Bhava. Again, a very beautiful graphical description, analogy. Dehabhimana Pashena, this body consciousness, I am the body and nothing more than that, is a pasha, it's a noose. It's a chain around you which has bound you. Since when? Chiram Baddhosi. From time immemorial, from the very beginning, ever since you came into existence, not in this body, but the previous bodies and beyond. In every one of them, you were bound by this chain or the noose of body consciousness, deha abhimana, to believe that you are the body. Chiram baddhosi, you have been bound by it since eternity, since the beginning. Putraka, oh dear child. See, again, Ashtavakra is telling Janaka, dear child, because in spirituality, Ashtavakra is still a child. He has not learned that he is not the body. He may be the king, but he doesn't know the truth. So he is still a child in his spiritual evolution. So how to get rid of this noose of body consciousness? He says, bodhoham, knowledge, bodha, the knowledge of the self, that I am that awareness, bodha, I am that self, I am the knowledge, I am the awareness, jnana khadgina, knowing this knowledge is like having a sword in your hand, khadga. And with this knowledge that I am the self, tannishkritya, cut it off. Cut off that noose, cut off that chain, and sukhi bhava, become free and become happy. So it's imagery for those who do not understand directly. The body consciousness is like a trap, it's a noose, it's something which has bound you. To get rid of this noose, the only way is that I am the self, that knowledge is the sword with which you should cut asunder the bonds of body consciousness, and that's how you become free. This is a very important shloka, because our main problem is that from time so long we have been habituated to thinking that we are only the body and nothing beyond. And even in this birth when we live, we only identify ourselves with the body or the mind. You are not one but three, Bhagavan would say. The one you think you are, the one other thinks you are, others think you are, and the one you really are. The one you think you are is the body, he used to say. Because if in a photograph, a group photo, if I tell you, where are you? You will straight point towards your picture, which is your body's picture. But others think you are is your mind, he used to say. Of course, they see the body, but really what they see in you, what do they relate to? It's your mind, your behavior, your attitudes, your ideas, your emotions, your thought. That is what others look at you from their point of view. So what others think you are is your mind. But third person is what you really are. That is the self, he used to say. That self is neither the body nor the mind. But this idea of body-mind is so strongly embedded in us. It's there in our subconscious mind, so strong, that it's very difficult to say, I am not the body and the mind. It's very difficult to see the gold. You are only able to see the jewelry. Call it by a name and form. So Nama Rupa is the body consciousness. That is the binding. Once you get rid of the Nama Rupa, there is no binding. You become one and the same as everybody else. And that is the whole confusion Ashtavakra is telling to Janaka. This whole problem with you is, you are unable to think of yourself other than this form and name that you have and all the emotions, thoughts that occupy you. This is the bondage. And cut it asunder, because without that you cannot be happy, you cannot be free. And how do I cut it? What is my tool? Jnana, wisdom is the tool, knowledge is the tool, that I am not this. With that you can cut it and be free. Here is this knowledge that Ashtavakra is giving to Janaka so that he can get rid of his body-mind consciousness. In this world, avidya, kama, karma are three principles because of which we are bound, it is said. Avidya is wrong knowledge or ignorance. Kama means desire, which is born out of wrong ideas. And karma, the actions that follow the desire, which are also wrong. Avidya, kama, karma, it is said. They are our binding. They bind us. Avidya, that I am the body. What is desire then? Kama, following it. Feed the body, clothe the body, pamper the body, all that. Please the body. It goes on and on. So action following that thought is get money, get relations, get name, get position, get this, get that. So these go on, this goes on in a loop, eternal loop. Wrong knowledge, wrong desire, wrong action. Wrong knowledge, wrong desire, wrong action. Wrong knowledge goes on and on and on. It's unending. Somebody has to break this loop. And that loop is, that break breaking the loop is through the knowledge that right knowledge. Avidya is wrong knowledge, ignorance. Vidya is the right knowledge. The moment Vidya comes in, right desire come in, right actions follow. Wrong knowledge, wrong desire, wrong action. Right knowledge, right desire, right actions will follow. So he says, develop that right. Like yesterday we saw the prince of Kashi, who had the wrong knowledge that the girl in the picture is somebody else. It was him in his childhood, portrayed or painted by an artist in that portrait. But he kept on thinking he's going to marry this girl someday. And he's miserable because he can't find her. That is wrong knowledge, leading to wrong desire. Wrong desire is what I want to marry this girl in the portrait, which does not exist. And wrong action, searching for that girl which does not exist. Now, right knowledge is what? This girl is not some girl. This is you painted like that long time ago. What is the wrong desire? What is the right desire now? Oh, I don't want to marry this picture because there is none to marry there. And what is the right action after that? I do not want to pursue this idea anymore. So right knowledge is the reason why we do right desires and right actions. And wrong knowledge leads to the other way around. How to get rid of this Deha Bhiman? Because the wrong knowledge, the body is the wrong knowledge. So wrong desires start to just take care of our body. All the time we are running behind the body. How much? And then wrong actions follow just to please the body. And body means all the senses. Sense gratification he said just now. Maturity is to be able to avoid sense gratification, running behind the senses. A beautiful shloka comes in Viveka Chudamani. See, we have 5 senses, right? Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Sound, touch, form, that is eyes that see, tasting through the tongue, and touch through the skin. These are the 5 senses we are always entangled in. It says, Viveka Chudamani talks about the plight of humans. He compares with the plight of the animals. He says, Shabdadibihi panchabhireva panchaha panchatvamapu swagunena baddhaha. These 5 come to their destruction because they are bound by these 5 things, like sound, etc. What are the 5 animals who go through that? Kuranga, Matanga, Patanga, Meena, Bhrangaha. Then he says, Naraha, Panchabhiranchita Kim. The man who is engulfed in all the 5, what is his fate? He says these 5 animals go through untold misery. They bring their own destruction because of these 5 senses that they are. Each one has entangled in only one sense. Like Kuranga, the deer. It is attracted by sound, Shabda. In the forest, when there is some rustling of the leaves, which is what the hunter does, he makes some sound, the deer gets very attracted and goes there. And then the hunter shoots the deer. Because of one weakness of not able to have control over one's ear or sound, the deer gets into trouble. Matanga, elephant. Elephant is caught, the wild elephant is caught by a very strange trick. They prepare a female elephant who is well trained to go to the forest and touch the male elephant, male wild elephant. And with that one touch, the male wild elephant loses all his senses. He gets so enticed by the female elephant that he just follows her wherever she goes. But the female elephant is trained to come back home to the hunter, to the capturer. So this male elephant happily walks into the trap, watching the female elephant. Why? Because of the weakness of touch. The touch of the female elephant causes the male elephant to lose all his discrimination and follow his own destruction and end up in lifelong slavery. Matanga, but by touch, sparsha. Patanga is the 4th, moth. Fireflies or moth. They are attracted by light. If you have a lamp burning, these moths come there. And what do? They go jump into that fire. and burn themselves. Because they're so attracted by rupa, form, the light, the form of light. They're so attracted, they can't control themselves. They straightway go and jump into their own death, suicidal. Because they can't control themselves. Because they're attracted by that one sense of just vision. Rasa, taste, that is the problem of a fish. How do we catch a fish? You take a fish hook, fish line, and then put a small something, an insect or a worm or a smaller fish on that hook, then go and dip it into the river, and then the fish that is in the river gets attracted by the taste of whatever is hanging on that hook. It cannot see the hook anymore, it only sees that worm, goes and bites it and gets stuck in the hook. And that's how a fish gets killed, just by one sense, which is taste. It gets trapped, gets killed. And finally, bhrunga. Bhrunga is bee. These bees go to the flowers. They are attracted by the smell, the fragrance, the scent in the flowers. And so they go attracted and go and fall into the flower, and the flower closes and they die. They don't come out at all. Because they're driven by only one sense of smell, which they cannot control. They just go and fall into it and die. So Adi Shankaracharya says, imagine these insects, because of not being able to control one sense organ, they become the cause of their own destruction. Man is bound by all the five senses, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. It means his trouble is 5 times more. They are bound by taste, smell, touch, sound, forms. What is the plight of a man then? Adi Shankaracharya laments. And all these 5 senses are of the body only, body and mind. Nothing beyond that. So if you want to be free and not be bound, then you cannot be engaged in the ways of the body and the mind. Then you will say, oh, should I not eat? Should I not go anywhere? Should I not do everything, as long as it's not coming in the way of your spiritual development? That's all I keep saying. Too much eating, yukta ahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karma. So everything in moderation, with care, under dharma, the righteousness. That is the only way. If you do it any other way, you will end up in one trouble or the other. So this is the idea of dehabhimana pashena. You are bound by your body and the senses. And if you are continuing to engage with them, then you are in trouble. You are actually binding yourself more and more. You are not releasing yourself. And don't waste time. See, the other way is not by not, you open yourself, one by one, and then you can free yourself. Ashtavakra says, no, that is too long. That takes too much time. Just get jnana that you are not the body and cut off all the knots, one shot. Don't wait for untangling yourself slowly. No, just take the knife, cut it off, get rid of it now and here. And sukhi bhava, and become happy. Become happy. The deer thinks that it is going to be happy if it follows the sound, or the elephant thinks it's going to be happy following the other elephant, or the fish thinks it's going to be happy eating that worm. But they are not going to be happy, because these are all temporary happiness. Like that, the body and mind will give you some temporary pleasures, driven by which we go on chasing it till we end up in our grave. But to avoid that, what is the thing? Don't engage, it says. But very difficult. How can I not engage? I am tempted, I am attracted, I am helpless. What do I do then? Arjuna also tells Krishna, as if under some force, great force, that I am forced to follow all these body and mind, kama, krodha and other things. Anichannapi varshneya baladiva niyojitaha, he says. I am not interested, I do not want, anichan, I am not interested, but yet as if I have been forced into it, I feel so helpless in front of my mind and senses, Arjuna says. And Krishna says, of course, Arjuna, that is how it is. Kama yesha, krodha yesha, rajoguna samudbhava. Rajoguna is like that, very powerful. It comes at great speed. Mahashana, Mahapapma. It's insatiable. The hunger of desire is insatiable. Mahapapma, and also causes you to commit sins. Viddha etad vairinam. Therefore, know this is your enemy. That worm in the hook is not a food, it is your enemy. If you eat that, you fish, you are going to get caught. That female elephant who is being so nice to you is not a friend, it is an enemy, it's going to get you captured. Likewise, know that these Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsara, the Arishat Vargas are not your friends. This body is not your friend. The temptations of the body is not your friend. It is your enemy, it is going to get you into trouble. Know that, discriminate, Krishna tells to Arjuna. Likewise, Ashtavakra is saying, Deha Bhimana Pasha, your body looks very beautiful and nice to have, but it's a trap, it's a noose, it's a bondage. You may not feel it now, but you will know it eventually. And don't wait for it to happen on its own. No, take action now. Develop that wisdom that you are the self and cut off all these knots. Mundaka Upanishad said, Vidyate hridaya granthihi, chidyante sarva samshayaha. All your knots of the heart, this avidya, kama, karma are the knots which bind us. They are cut asunder. And chidyante sarva samshayaha. All your doubts disappear. Am I the body? Am I the mind? Now you know with conviction you are not. Like in the bright sunlight, you can see things as they are. If they're dark, you can keep guessing. Like Adi Shankaracharya says, in the morning fog, the stumps of the cut trees, they appear to be human beings standing. But when the fog disappears, sunlight happens, you can see that's only a tree stump. It is not a human being. Likewise, when the knowledge dawns, there is no confusion left in the head, whether you are body or not. You know for sure you are not the body and the mind. So work toward developing that knowledge, because that alone can free you and you can become happy, sukhi bhava. Otherwise there is no way you can become happy. That is the idea, how emphatically Adi Shankara goes on repeating. People ask me, what is the method? I tell, don't engage with the things of the body. Eat only limited. Yukta ahara viharasya, yukta cheshtasya karmasu, yukta swapna bodhasya, yogo bhavati dukkhaha. Yoga destroys your sorrow. How? By teaching you moderation. Eat only as much is necessary, eat only that is harmless. Go where it is necessary and not go otherwise. Karma, whatever actions you undertake only to the extent that it is necessary and it will lead you to self-realization. Otherwise, don't engage in selfish actions. Cheshtasya, or desires. Develop only desires that will help you grow internally within towards God, and not other desires. Discard them. Vishayan, vishavatyaja, like poison. Discard them. Yukta ahara viharasya karmasya cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapna avabodhasya. In sleep also be moderate, he is saying. Too much of pampering the body and sleeping too long or too little, both are not right. Just right, moderate amount of rest is correct. That's why we have bells. Bell rings, we go to sleep. Bell rings, we wake up. And that discipline is important to get rid of body consciousness. You tell me, we have Suprabhatam, whatever, at 5:30, and everybody cries, in the beginning. Afterwards, they get used to it. In the beginning, oh, I want to sleep. What am I telling? By putting that Suprabhatam at 5 o'clock or waking you up at 4:45, what am I trying to do? What are we trying to achieve? We are trying to help you develop some control over your body and mind. Because sleep is a tamasic quality. Everybody wants to sleep longer. Because it's laziness, it's natural, it's like gravity, it pulls us down. So what the system tells, no. When the body is pulling you into sleep and influencing you, when your mind is giving into the demands of the body, a bell shall ring and teach you how to control your desires for longer rest and sleep and relaxation. And that way you will develop some control of your mind and body. When we tell you, you must come at this time and leave at this time, there is a time discipline. What are we teaching? We are teaching you to train your mind to follow certain disciplines. And only when you do that can you really be able to handle higher problems in life. So why all this discipline? Why all these heavy schedules? Why all these rigorous activities that I put you on? From the smallest child to the oldest, this helps you to overcome the demands of your body and the vagaries of your mind. To some extent, you start developing some self-control to overcome the demands of your senses. Why I do not allow phones? Everybody is crying. Because I know phones are simply going to distract you. Another noose around your neck, that's all it is. Why? Dhayaton vishayan punsaha sangasteshu pajayate. Once you keep thinking about something, you develop attachment to it. So the solution is don't look at anything twice, I tell everybody. If something is attracting you, don't look at it twice, just walk away from there. Because if you start observing it, you'll get sucked into it without your knowledge. You're walking through the shop. A lot of people do window shopping, isn't it? First day they walk through the lane, they see some nice dress or some nice gadget, that thought goes inside the head. But first day you walk away saying, no, this is unnecessary expense, I don't need it. Next day again you walk through the same street, again your eyes fall on that. You think these marketing people are fools? They know Bhagavad Gita, they know Ashtavakra Gita very well. They know how people get trapped. So they put that dress, that nice jewelry, that nice gadget right on the window of this shop. So even by chance you look at it, there is an attraction, and then now they have made it even worse, because earlier you did not have payment methods and things like that. You will say I have to go get a check or I have to go get cash from the ATM or something. Today, just click PayPal. And not just that, if you don't have money, then there are apps that can lend you money. Instant gratification, then and there. What are they trying? They're just binding you more and more into your body, mind. And I've seen how many kids have lost how much money in this gratification problem. They want to watch a movie, there is no money, 300 rupees is needed, no problem. A loan is available on an app, click 300 rupees credited to your account. You don't have to pay till the end of the month. After that, 36% per annum. Not even 36, maybe now 36% per month. I do not know what's going on there. Then suddenly your 300 rupees becomes 600 rupees of debt in no time. And before you think you can pay it, it becomes 1200 rupees. And before you even gather that 1200 rupees, become 2400 rupees of debt. How many people are trapped? I'm so happy, I hope this don't consider it as a political stand, but a bill is passed in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha about controlling the gaming apps in India. I feel like falling at the feet of whoever has brought that bill. And I hope that goes through. I have seen so many of our staff get into gaming apps and lose so much money. I have seen come and beg at my feet, Swami, save us from this. Money agencies are harassing us. I told, why did you borrow that money? To play some game. Why did you pay the game? So that I can earn some money. You think it is so straight? These are traps. These are not here to, if they were here to help you make money, when will they make money then? You think these gambling dens are here to help us make money? These stock markets are here to help us make money? These gaming apps are here to help us make money? Don't fool yourselves. These are here to take away whatever you have. Initially, they will help you make money. 1, 2, 3 times. From 50 rupees, you'll make 100, 100 will become 200, 200 become 600. You'll think now you have the skills to do it. Then 600 will become 0. That's how this works. Lot of people, not like outside, I do not know what, but they're saying in this gaming industry, which is actually in a way betting and gambling only. In a roundabout way, they call it gaming, but then money is involved. Remove the money from the equation, I'm happy, play as many games as you want. But they are not just playing games for entertainment. There is money involved in that. There is betting going on. And people are getting trapped. And once they lose, they borrow money. Again, they put money, they lose. Again, they borrow money, they put money, they lose. I know of a teacher. He was a poor man. God brought him up. Even gave him a chance to study a MA program. Took care of the child when he was very sick and he was born. We took care of it. Lakhs of rupees of expenses, everything. But somewhere it got inside his head that he has to make money and become rich quickly. And he got into this gaming. After some time, I got to know from others that this man is going on asking money from all the staff in the campus. Then we dug a little further and found that he has lakhs of rupees of debts. I asked, how did it happen? You know what he has done? At home, when COVID was going on, instead of watching my talks or coming here and attending, he took the excuse that I have a newborn baby which is not well. I must look after my wife and kids. So he stayed back. He never attended any of the COVID workshops. And what he did do sitting at home, he was playing games. He has mortgaged his only house. First of all, born in a poor family, never had money. I took pity. Okay, let us give him education, give him a job and so on. And then he ended up with gaming apps. Lost all the money, took so much loan and was not coming to the institution because he can't show his face to anybody. Look how mind can suck you down, that little worm hanging on the hook. First few times you will make money. I'm previously a banker. I have dealt with stock markets. Long-term fundamental investments are different. But these short-term quick bucks, it's a big farce. Only brokers make money, and those sharp, clever companies which are backing all these programs, they make money. None of us make money. So I hate it when I see apps with zero brokerage. Now let us get inside there. And they'll start giving you tips. And you think you are so smart that you will make money. Nobody makes. It's a zero-sum game. If you are making money, somebody is losing money, isn't it? Otherwise, how you are making money is not appearing from the sky every day. Somebody's money is from their wallet is getting into your wallet. That's all is happening. So this instant gratification, which is the demand of the body and the mind, is like that. It initially gives you a lot of kick, but eventually drags you into untold misery. People have lost their home, hearth, families, peace, jobs, dignity, everything, getting into this gambling. From the gambling times of Dharmaraja, who lost his everything, including his wife, to today's modern apps. And so this bill has come, which says this gaming industry has to be reined in. You can play game, but you can't be involving money. And whole gaming industry is up in arms against the legislation. They're saying we pay 20,000 crores in GST alone to the government. It's like all those liquor shops saying, don't close us because you make the most money from us at the cost of ruining people's lives and breaking homes and abandoning families and orphaning children. Government makes money on liquor shops and such things. So I am glad that at least for the gaming app they have come in and said nothing doing. And the logic of our gaming industry people is I don't know how many $1 billion worth industry it is. Each company is $8-10 billion. And 20,000 crore GST the whole industry pays, and 2 lakh people are employed in the industry. They will lose the job. I told let them lose the job. Here crores of people are losing everything in their life because driven by the sense gratification and binding themselves down and making themselves miserable. That is why Ashtavakra says, Deha abhimana pashena chirambaddosi putraka. You have been bound by this idea of body and mind for eternity, friends, since the beginning. Get rid of it now. Take this knife of wisdom that you are not this and cut off all these knots and be free. Why should you live like a prisoner, a slave to your senses? Be free. Be free. All the time Ashtavakra keeps saying. Be free, because only in freedom there is happiness. So that is the idea of Ashtavakra. How beautiful. And as I said, I am always in awe of our scriptures because they were the solution to the problems of mankind 1,000 years before. They are the solutions to all the problems today, and they will be the solutions to the problems of mankind for all time to come. Because they are eternal, they are truth. Truth never changes. Untruth is a shapeshifter. Truth remains the same. So that is the idea of how one should get rid of the body and sense gratification and vagaries of the mind by developing vidya, knowledge of the self. And that happens in the presence of a guru when the shishya is absolutely surrendered. Otherwise, this won't happen. I'll take the next sloka, which is on page number 230, 1.15. It says, Nisango nishkriyosi tvam saprakasho niranjanaha ayameva hi te bandhaha sabadhim anutishtasi. Another very beautiful idea he brings in here. Nisango, you are ever unattached. That we have already read so many times. Like the space, we are unattached. Like the electricity, we are unattached. Nisango. We are completely unattached at all times as the self. As body and mind, we are bound, but we, as self, we are free. Nishkriyosi, we are not doing any actions. Actions are being done. Body and mind are engaged, driven by their gunas, samskaras of the past. But we are not performing those actions. In the sense, as a self, we are not performing. Like the electricity is not performing the action of bringing light or breeze or heat or cold to us. It's the gadgets that are doing their job. So body and mind engage in action. I remain unattached. That we have already learned, I have described it enough. Nishkriyosi. Tvam, you are that. Swaprakasho, you are self-luminous. You don't need anybody else to make you enlightened. You already are enlightened, he says. You are the source of all the knowledge as the pure self. Niranjana, and you are blemishless, you are sinless, you are guileless. That is your true nature. Ayameva hi te bandhaha. This alone is your bondage. What is the bondage? Samadhi manutishthasi, that I am trying to attain samadhi. I am doing meditation and I am going into samadhi. This idea that I am doing this meditation itself is your bondage, he says. I am sleeping. No, sleep happens to you. Meditation happens to you. You don't do meditation. You just prepare yourself in the body and mind so that meditation happens. But I am trying to do meditation, it's a frustrating thought, because then outcomes, once you are the doer, you will worry about the outcomes. And when outcomes don't happen as per your like, then meditation becomes frustration. So he says, this is your bondage, that you try to achieve something, including I want to achieve enlightenment. I want to achieve meditation or samadhi. Samadhi is a state of mind, not the state of self. Mind, when it is free from all the thoughts, it attains some kind of a supreme joy. Like in deep sleep, we are very joyful. We don't realize the joy, but actually we are very refreshed and relaxed when you wake up from the deep sleep. Like that samadhi state in meditation, when your thoughts have disappeared, gives you some kind of a freedom, some kind of a joyful feeling. And many people crave for it. They go to gurus to learn meditation so that they can get into samadhi, because that is some kind of a motivation for them. But our scriptures, the real samadhi is samadhi, means your mind is equanimous. Not the state of, altered state of consciousness or mind which people talk about, where you go into some kind of a asana and then you perform some kind of a very good rituals and then suddenly you lose this body consciousness, mind consciousness for some time. Nirvikalpa, Savikalpa and Sahaja Samadhi, the three kinds of samadhis that our scriptures talk about. Nirvikalpa Samadhi is when you slip into that samadhi state without any choice and then you are lost in it. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to often slip into Nirvikalpa Samadhi. It means he is standing watching, it seems once he was watching the dark clouds on the fields, rice fields in Bengal, and he saw a flock of white birds flying across. And the beauty of it mesmerized him so much that he lost himself in samadhi and fell and broke a hand or a leg, something. Because he had no control over his samadhi. He would just slip into it every now and then. Because his mind will just lose itself in that beauty of the sight or whatever. All the thoughts will dissolve. That was Nirvikalpa Samadhi. People crave for that. For some people it happens. Then Savikalpa Samadhi is also there, where you are able to get into samadhi by putting some efforts. Ramakrishna, effortless, Nirvikalpa, just gets into it. Savikalpa, you put some effort, sit down on a mat. Our Krishna tells Raja Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, get a mat which is straw mat, then put a deer skin on it, then put kusha grass and a clean cloth, and then sit on top of it in Padmasana, keep your head straight, all kinds of things. And then you start meditating on a thought like a flame, which is not shaking in the wind, like that your mind should become steady. And that's how you slowly overcome the body-mind consciousness and get into a state of no body, no mind. That's also a samadhi, is called Savikalpa Samadhi. With some effort you can get into that and you still are aware that you are sitting in a meditation. Nirvikalpa, you are not even aware, your body-mind awareness disappears. There is no vikalpa, no thoughts. Whereas in Savikalpa, you are put effort, sat down, and while you are doing samadhi, you are aware that you are in samadhi, your mind and body have disappeared and you are aware of that state. Then there is a sahaja samadhi, which is while you are walking, talking, moving, doing things, you are still aware of yourself. You don't have to sit on a kusha grass and deer skin and neat cloth in a morning Brahma Muhurta. You anywhere, anything that you are doing, still deep inside you are always steady. As if things are happening outside you. Like a driver inside the car. You are the passenger, mind is the driver, and car is the body. And you are just witnessing all the movements. You don't involve with anything, but still things are happening. Your mind is working, your body is working. It's not steady in sitting in one pose, nor it has fallen off somewhere unaware. It is very much active, but you are still in that state. That is the supreme most state, Sahaja Samadhi. It's naturally you are always in that state. It's, as I said earlier also, when you are a woman, you can also be a mother, a sister, a daughter, a wife, or a teacher, or a housewife, whatever. So many roles you play. But all the time while you are playing the roles, have you forgotten that you are a woman in the first place? No. Do you need to sit on a kusha grass and the deer skin and the cloth to meditate that I am a woman, I'm not a mother, I'm a woman, I'm not a wife, I'm a woman? You don't have to do that, right? Because you are always aware being that. So these Sahaja Samadhi people are being that, so they are always aware, and whatever they are doing, they are still aware of that self within. That is the higher Samadhi. But this whole effort, Samadhi Anusishta, see that I am going into Samadhi now. I shall go into Samadhi now. This idea of doing itself is your biggest enemy. Ashtavakra Samadhi should happen to you because you are so ready. That Sahaja Samadhi, it happens to you. You are doing everything in the world, yet you are not affected by it because you are always established in that awareness consciousness. Does a state like this even exist? Like our Arjuna asks Krishna, Sitapragyasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava Sitapragya kim prabhashita kimasita vrajeta kim. Oh Krishna, do people called Sitapragya even exist in this world? How do they behave? How do they walk? How do they talk? What do they do? How do they stay in that Samadhi? Krishna is standing in front of him, but look at Arjuna's foolhardiness that he never understood that Krishna is that self who was always absorbed in the self yet acted in the outside. He never knew Krishna. Arjuna lived with Krishna for so many years, 85 years, but he did not know anything about Krishna. And he's asking Krishna, oh Krishna, you mention of people who are Sitaprajna. But do they really exist? Do such people exist who are always absorbed in the self yet active in the outside? And they are unaffected by all their mind and body. Do such people even exist in this world? He asks Krishna. But Krishna being compassionate without telling, I am that one, oh fool, you haven't understood still. He nicely tells him, no, such people do exist. How do they are? He explains to them that all their desires have disappeared. All their ideas of I and mine have disappeared. They are free from fear, anger, and all such negative emotions. And their mind is constantly at peace. Those are the people who are always in that state of Samadhi, the real Samadhi, Sahaja Samadhi. They do exist. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanyeva atmana tushtaha stita prajños tadjyate. Or stitadhi, stita prajña, these are the same different words for the same idea. Their minds are absolutely steady. They are steady. Mind also, if I tell it is wrong. They are very steady in the self. Mind, body keep doing whatever. Because they have no desire. Prajahati yada kaman, they have given up all the desires. Kaman sarvan, all desires. Partha manogatan, whatever rises in the mind, all the desires they have given up. Atmanyeva atmanatushta, they are established in the self and they are satisfied. They don't need somebody else to complete them and satisfy them. They are happy unto themselves. They are such people. And how they are? They do not get perturbed by either happiness or sorrow. If happiness comes also, they are same. If sadness comes also, they are same. Unaffected. Because these are all in the outside that is happening. Inside they are just the same. Kutastha, it is read last time. They are steady. They don't move. The wheel moves, the axle remains. Likewise, they are like the axle which remains and the wheel keeps moving around them. The samsara goes around them, they remain steady. These ideas are so lofty and only our scriptures have these ideas. Once somebody had come to Kanchi Paramacharya, some great journalist, and Kanchi Paramacharya asked him, What is the word for Sthita Prajna in your journalist dictionary? And he did not know. Then our Kanchi Paramacharya explains equanimity. Equanimity is Sthita Prajna. But the concept of equanimity is not thought of in the spiritual level in the English literature. It is thought of as a state where you can bear with whatever is happening and still remain peaceful, quite peaceful. But ours is that is your nature, that is your first nature. Everything else is second. So the idea of this, that you are neither the doer nor you are attached to anything, you are self-effulgent, because like the sun, our Atman is always shining. I told yesterday, na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam, nema vidyuto bhati kutoyam agnihi, tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam, tasya bhasa sarvam idamidhati. There is no sun, there is no moon, no fire, no stars, no nothing, no source of light. But that is where it shines. And as it shines, everything else shines. In its shine, everything else shines. It is the source of all shine. That is the self, the knowledge. Because idea of shine is awareness. You are aware of your mind and your thought. You are aware of your body and its movements. Because that awareness is your true nature. And that awareness helps you make a... So it is a poetry which says, in that awareness, you become aware of your mind. In that awareness, you become aware of your body. Without that awareness, you are not aware of your mind and body. So that idea that you are that original awareness, and body and mind are superimpositions on that awareness, which work doing their duty as it is given, and you are driven by your gunas. Too much of tamas is there in you, you will be sleeping all day long. You will be only engaged in lowly ideas of physical pleasures. You will not think beyond that. If you are too much of rajas in you, you will be full of passion, full of action. You can't sit in one place even for a minute. Something or the other you will keep doing, because you are driven by that guna. And if you have too much of sattva, then you will be very quiet, very withdrawn, very kind, very sattvic. That will be your nature. And these three gunas keep playing within us. But when they are in proportion, then we live very healthy lives. We sleep enough, we work enough, and we meditate enough. But if we don't have this in proportion, then we do it all upside down. That's what is happening in most of the people in the world. They don't sleep in the night, they sleep at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. That's why I said this kind of thing will ruin your body. And today scientific reports are coming out how this bad lifestyle is causing so many lifestyle diseases. Why is it happening? Because you're not following the patterns that nature demands. You are going against the very nature. That what we call a circadian rhythm. Wake up with birds, sleep with birds. That is the best way. Follow the sun's path. When sun is bright, your digestion is good, eat more. When sun is low, that is during sunrise and sunset, eat less. When sun is not there, sleep, because you can't eat, you can't digest. Because it says, Kathopanishad says, that fire and this fire is one and the same. That heat of the sun only is the heat in the stomach, they say. It means our biology is connected to all the geography or whatever, the universal movements, the rhythm. So live like that. But who lives like that? Even doctors don't live who says things like that. Haven't I seen other medical schools? They all sleep at 2:30, 3 a.m. Wake up at 8 a.m., don't brush, don't bathe, just go straight to the class, no prayer, nothing. Straight get into the class, come out, have their lunch, finish their practicals, then chat till 6:30, 7 in the night, and then again study till 2 a.m., 3 a.m., again start the thing. When is the bath? I do not know. Maybe once in a week, once in 2 weeks. I know them. I know of somebody who told me that in this engineering college, there was a record of one fellow not having bath for 21 days. And they're proud about it. Even a buffalo goes and has bath every day. Nobody teaches. But human beings, they are like that. Tamas, so much tamas. That stone-like inertia, that lethargy, so much dense, that can't overcome the tamas. When I tell the people here, please groom well, come well prepared, doesn't go inside their head because their tamas does not allow them. Ayyo, I have to shave again today. Ayyo, I have to again have bath. As if it is some favor you are doing to somebody else. I have seen that. How much I tell, I do not know. I had to shower twice a day. Twice a day I have to pray. I am still okay. I went to some Swamiji's ashram. They won't touch food till they finished all their rituals, in 3-hour long rituals in the morning, afternoon, evening. I said, oh God, then when do you even eat and rest? But that is how they are. They are driven by that ritualistic way of life. And these Trikala Sandhya the Brahmins have to do. They have to bathe in the morning, do Sandhya. Bathe in the afternoon, do Sandhya. Bathe in the evening, do Sandhya. That is Sattvic life. And Tamasic life, 21 days, no shower, nothing, and you're okay. And you are okay, but how are your classmates are okay? How are they surviving is my question. Maybe they also do not follow anything. They also are equally tamasic, so they also are surviving. Otherwise, how do you explain this? So I keep telling people, when, yes, don't pamper your body, you're not the body, but does not mean ignore your body also, right? Yukta. Yukta ahara viharasya is saying, yukta, right proportion of care should be taken. Your body shouldn't fall sick or shouldn't be uncared for. We see all these agoris, they live like that. You are not agoris, you are students, you are staff, you are people of the institution. You must behave correctly. That is yoga. Yukta ahara viharasya, yukta cheshtasya karmasu, yukta swapnavabodhasya. In everything, moderation is the way. Buddha's middle path, golden mean. That is the way. Spirituality is not extremes. It is about managing, maintaining that middle path and the balance. That is why I insist you wear good clothes. Who asked you to wear rags and torn clothes? Who asked you to starve and not eat? Who asked you to not sleep and hang upside down for realizing God? None of this is necessary. Become disciplined in your body and mind. That is the first step. And time discipline is the first step in discipline, let me tell you. The one who is time disciplined will discipline himself or herself in every other aspect. It begins there. That's why it's such a rigorous schedule. Everything happens with the bell. Because the discipline of time, once you develop discipline of the body and mind and emotions. Every other discipline starts coming after that. So these are a few very basic spiritual practices. You may think it's a hostile schedule. Oh, Swamiji has created one terrible schedule. He wakes up so early and then he makes us do all kinds of things. Then puts. But all I'm trying to do is this helps you somewhere develop some control over your body, mind and senses. This helps you grow spiritually. It does not allow your mind to just take over and do as it pleases. It makes your Atman take charge and control your mind and body. That's why such strict, I keep boys and girls separate. I'm very particular that they should not mix and talk too much. No social media, no unnecessary interactions between staff also. What is necessary to that extent you do. That is yukta ahara viharasya. Don't meet people unnecessarily. Just because you're in ashram, you know that devotee from that country. Don't be found in each other's room chatting, eating. If there's some spiritual discussion, something important, go there, meet them. If somebody is not well, check on them, inquire. That's enough. Now sit there for 3 hours and chit chat is not the way. The more you engage with your senses, the stronger or the tighter the noose of deha bhimana becomes on you. The more difficult it becomes to get rid of it. The easier way is keep it minimal. Keep it minimal. Minimal means keep it appropriate. That is our scripture. Nobody is asking you to do some crazy things in spirituality. Spirituality should be a simple, joyful path, isn't it? Otherwise, why would it be prescribed? But it has been made to appear so harsh and difficult and punishing that most of the people run away from it. And that's exactly what we are doing. Now, I do not allow non-veg food. Why? Because that is not a spiritual, that is tamasic bhojanam. Krishna says, right, there are tamasic, rajasic and sattvic. Fresh food, beyond a yama, that is 3 hours period, you should not eat a food. Storing in refrigerators, eating, all this is deha bhimana pasha. Fresh food is cooked every morning, afternoon, evening. Every time you get absolutely fresh food. Even if not fresh, and suppose the food is left over, it goes to the cows or the animals or some farm, but we do not feed our children with modified versions. And imagine the Indian households, especially in the modern households of India, South Indian household, one batter they make, that's punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Today's batter is dosa, the same batter is idli, then it becomes your padus, then it becomes your uttapam, then it becomes God knows what. Keeps getting recycled. Haven't I seen that? This was America I had gone to. They cook once in a week on a Sunday and store everything in the refrigerator. And then eat that all through their week because they have no time to cook. They go early at 6 o'clock in the morning, grab a cup of coffee from Starbucks on the way and keep drinking it as they drive towards the office. And then grab a sandwich in the office and eat that for lunch. Then come back home and finally take out all the things from refrigerator, start heating them, reheating them, and then eating. And that is the reason for all the lifestyle diseases, from cancer to everything. The more you reheat things, the worse it becomes. There are more free radicals. And so it's not just about Krishna advising don't eat beyond a yama or beyond 3 hours period, but it is simply because there are unnecessary bacterial growth. Now to avoid that, you put it in the refrigerator. And then when you take out, you can't eat cold food, so you heat it. Once you heat it, there are free radicals released. That causes irritation to the cells, to the mitochondria. That causes all the reactions inside the cells. Then multiplication of cells happen. They become rogue cells, that becomes cancer. Look at how we are making ourselves miserable by simply not following simple practices of spirituality. Why? Because we are too busy making money. First half of our life, we spend all the time, all our health is spent in making money, earning money. And then the second half of our life, all the money is spent to earn health back. That's what is happening in the world today. Instead, follow a simple, nice life of sattvic food, sattvic thoughts, sattvic actions. It will take you towards your goal. So body consciousness, the more you feed it like a fire, the more fuel you put in it, the more it burns. The only way to stop the fire from further burning is stop adding fuel to it. The more you give to your body, the more you please your mind, the more you succumb to the temptations of the senses, the more it grabs you. You think, oh, you have fulfilled the desire, now the desire is done, you have overcome it. Some Swamiji were of the past are there, very notorious. They told, just enjoy life as much as you want. One day you will develop frustration for it. I don't know whether you will develop frustration, but you will develop a lot of diseases by the end of such enjoyment. Strange philosophies. Bhagavan used to be absolutely upset with such false ideas. The idea was, okay, body is asking for temptations, fulfill its desires. One day it will be fed up, like what you call diminishing marginal utility, right? So you will overcome that desire. But doesn't happen. Trishna na jirna, varayameva jirna. We become old. Shankaracharya says, Angam galitam palitam mundam dashana vihinam jatam tundam vruddho yati gruhitva dandam tadapina munchate asha pindam. Bhaja Govindam, he says that's why. Because Angam galitam, body is becoming old. All the organs are melting away in old age. Palitam mundam, head is bereft of all the hair because everything has fallen away. Dashana vihinam jatam tundam, mouth has become empty, all the teeth have fallen away. Vruddho yati grihitva dandam, the old man walks with a stick bent below, shaking and shivering. Tadapina munchate asha pindam, still his desires are not done. The asha pinda, that noose of desires, deha abhimana pashena, chiram baddhosi putraka. That desire is so strong, it is never done. The only other way is just don't fulfill those desires, walk away from them. Now you will say, but it is so difficult. Once in a while we'll keep falling. Yes, once in a while we keep falling. When we started learning how to ride a bicycle, we did not fall. When we started walking as kids, we did not fall. We did. So once in a while you will fall, that is okay. As long as it is not intentional, it is fine with me. Once in a while falls will happen. I am not going to give you some high standard saying never you should fall on this path. Then I will be unrealistic. The realistic thing is, yes, sometimes you will fall. But like Ramakrishna says, watch it as a passing cloud. Don't pay too much of attention to the desires. And once in a while you succumb to the temptations of the desires, you enjoy it, okay. Now don't brood over it. Let the bygones be bygones. It's over. Let it be done. Don't sit and think about it anymore. Don't live in the past anymore. That is what Ramakrishna Paramahansa used to say. Don't give it attention more than it deserves. And then you can easily move on to the next thing. Otherwise we are stuck there, thinking about it. My own example I will give you. See, given a choice, it seems when Adi Shankaracharya was walking and there was a man who was pulling or dragging his cow with a rope. And he told his disciples, who is bound to whom? Is the cow is bound to the man or man is bound to the cow? So Shishya said, the cow is bound to the man. Cow is dependent on the man, so it is coming. Then Adi Shankaracharya cut off the rope. The cow ran away and the man was running behind the cow. Who is bound to whom? We are bound to the body or body is bound to us? Our desire is the rope which makes us bind to the body. There is no desire, body is not going to trouble you with temptations. Mind is not going to trouble you with temptations. If you have overcome desires, it will not trouble you at all. So many great ones use their mind and body to achieve such great things. All the greatness in the world has been achieved by body, mind only, you know. Of course through Atman, but instrumentation of body and mind. Because their body and mind are elevated to another level. They use their faculty of buddhi or their abilities, their skills to do such great things in the world. They are also human beings only. How did they achieve that? Because they are not bound to the body and mind anymore. They use body and mind as their instruments and then keep it aside when they don't want it. That ability is spirituality, which is what Ashtavakra is teaching Janaka. Use your body, mind, but do not become a slave to them. Do not become bound by them. That is the idea. Yesterday I was sitting in the balcony. Like my own personal example, I'm saying, given a choice, I would not like to be involved in so many institutions running all these, because it comes with it takes a lot of toll on your body, mind, and things like that. Because at the end of it, you have to go through the motions of things, right? You can't say, I am the self, I am established in the self and things like that, because this does demand certain things. So I was sitting in the balcony, listening to some songs after the evening session. There is nice little breeze, not too cold, not too warm. And there's Nandi Hills that you can watch, and there's night sky. And suddenly my mind started withdrawing, saying, where am I? What am I doing? Why am I running these institutions? What use is all this? At the end, everything is illusion, Maya. Those thoughts started growing on me. Then immediately I had to shake myself off, like Rama was shaken out of his reverie by Vashishta, saying that if you start thinking, then tomorrow you would not be motivated to come and talk about Ashtavakra or anything. Sa tarati, you have got crossed over. Sa lokans tarayati, now who will help others cross over? So shake off all those ideas of wanting to withdraw into the self. There were no two boys over there, I told them also. Let's go inside, let us not sit in the balcony anymore immediately. Let's change the place, change the thing, because it is now growing on me and it will suck me into that inner self, and then I would not like to engage in any actions of the world. But then like a boatman, Swayam tirna bhima bhamar navam janan hetu nanyan pitarayantaha. Having crossed over themselves, they have to come back like a boatman to take others, ferry them across. If the boatman goes to the other side, says, I am satisfied in the self and I do not want to. So compassion of gurus and teachers and Mahatmas and avatars is this. They bind themselves in the body on purpose so that they can help others free themselves. That is the idea. They trade their freedom for others' freedom, so that others also can enjoy this freedom of self. That is the idea. You contemplate on whatever I have said so far, because without that nothing will go inside. The more you think about it, the more you analyze, the more you contemplate on it, the more it becomes a part of you. Yad bhavam tad bhavati. What you think, that is what you become. So I will ask our Pranav to sing a nice song. It is a Vachana from Akka Mahadevi. And this is one of my favorites again, just to bring out that how these people knew the truth, though they were not learned scholars. Akka Mahadevi was just a princess. She was about to get married to a king when she felt she cannot marry twice because she is already married to Mahadeva. And she says, I cannot marry. And the king, like in St. Francis of Assisi, the father says, what do you mean? All these that you wear also is mine. She removes all her clothes, throws away and walks away naked. And all her life she spreads this message of Advaita only, though she is the worshipper of Shiva. But at the end of it, Channa Mallikarjuna is her deity, whom she thought of him as her husband, not of the body but of the soul, the soulmate. And then she sings that, that what is there for me to depend on this world? Why should I get bound by this world? If I'm hungry, I'll beg and eat. If I'm thirsty, I'll drink from the wells and rivers. If I'm tired, I'll sleep in the temples. All these basic needs can be met in 100 ways in this world. I don't have to build my own house, buy my own water, cook my own food. I can manage all these. I won't waste time on all these things. My main ask is oneness with you, O Channa Mallikarjuna. That alone, you alone can give this food, water, and all these things are not the things I come to you for. Give me a better job, a better wife, more children, male children, promotion. These are nonsense. These are not what I come to you for. I come to you for that Atma Sangata, to become one with you. I will not waste my time asking these silly things and not waste your time also. Because these I can do by begging also, I will satisfy my body and its requirements. I shall spend my time seeking only oneness with you. Go ahead. It's in Bhattiyar Raga, the morning Raga.
Bye. चन्नमल्लिकार्जुना आत्मसङ्गातके चन्नमल्लिकार्जुना नीननगुंटु हसिवादोडे भिक्षानगडुंटु हसिवादोडे भिक्षानगडुंटु
Sai Ram. We will now have a short break for 10 minutes, after which we shall reconvene for the Universal Wisdom for a United World series of talks. the World Cultural Festival. Among the countless spiritual luminaries who adorn the sky of Indian civilization, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was one of the brightest stars. His intense desire to experience God led him to walk on diverse paths, from worshipping the Mother Goddess with deep fervor, immersing himself in the formless meditation of Advaita, and even practicing the tenets of Christianity and Islam. At the end, he discovered the same truth, that all paths, though varied in form, converge at the one universal goal of God realization. His message, as many faiths, so many paths, stands as a beacon for a divided world, that all our diverse traditions must ultimately unite to enrich our one global family. This morning, we are pleased to welcome Swami Nirbhayananda Ji Saraswati Maharaj, President of the Sri Ramakrishna Vivekananda Ashram, Gadag, Vijaypura. He is a renowned spiritual leader, scholar, and dynamic speaker who has extensively traveled and lectured across the country and abroad. He was also the speaker at the 4th Parliament of World Religions at Barcelona, Spain in 2004. Dedicated to education, youth empowerment, and interfaith harmony, he has established schools for underprivileged and blind children, addressed at global forums including the United Nations and Vatican, and continues the message of service, unity, and human values. Now, we request Swamiji to address all of us.
Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayoshritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu Namashri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukhaswarupaya Swamine Tapaharine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Krupa Tamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Vireshwarananda Dayamrutabdhim Shri Ranganathancha Vijnana Bhanum Chidanandarupa Shri Purushottamaryam Dhyayan Hrudisthan Krutinam Hyavaimi. Who is operating mic? Increase volume a little. Increase volume a little. Salutations at the lotus feet of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother Sharada Devi, Swami Vivekananda, and all the great saints and savages that mankind has so far produced ever since the dawn of civilization took place on this earth. Also, my very respectful pranams to Sri Madhusudan Sai, who has converted this region into a veritable heaven. When Sri Govind Reddy rang me up and requested to speak on the subject Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam in this place, I never had any idea as to how the place would be at all. I had heard about Swami Madhusudan Sai. I had read his articles also in Vani, where I too contribute my article every alternate Thursday. That is all the picture I had about him. But having arrived here, my picture went on modifying itself into something that today, whichever direction I turn my face, I get amazed. Things are amazing. How much dedication can pay? What is the range of spiritual power? Has found its finest illustration in this region. We are all obsessed with muscle power. We are very busy in beautifying our bodies. We are very busy in shaping our flesh. We are very busy in getting fans by virtue of our looks. And we are a bit little, but still very much busy in widening the horizons of our knowledge, a little busy in developing that strong moral fiber in our being, but rarely we are busy in establishing ourselves in spiritual strength. What is meant by spiritual strength? What is spirituality? How far it is relevant? Where does it lie? How can I have a perception of it? Most of the times, even questions of this type will become something irrelevant, something not suitable for a young man at least. These questions become relevant. All these things need to be known only after the attainment of age 60 and not before that. And all sorts of superstitions have taken possession of us. That is not so. Spirituality is something that has permeated into your very existence. You exist for the sake of spirituality. You exist for enjoying spiritual beauties. And that is the way, that is the most scientific way of enjoying every other beauty. This is where Romans failed, this is where Greeks failed. They could never understand the relevance, the importance, the all-pervasive nature of spiritual strength of a man. Their vision was confined only to muscular power, kingly power, administrative power. Their one aim was to expand their empires, nothing more than that, and have all sorts of luxuries, a splendorous life. So, where is that Greek civilization today? Such civilizations can never last for long. And the test of your being fit to exist is your ability to survive. If a person is unfit to exist in this world, that can be very well known by seeing the longevity of his being there, longevity of his existence. If a person cannot command long longevities of life, eternal longevities of life, or depending upon the period that his longevity can last, you can measure the level of evolution he has achieved in his life. And even you can say whether he was any time fit at all to exist or somehow he existed. Most of the times even unfit things exist. So eternality, even in modern times, scientist Darwin has said, survival of the fittest, only the fittest will survive, the rest will come and go. Men may come, men may go, as the English writer, English author has sung, men may come, men may go. Women may come, women may go. Women come, women go. Men come, men go. Who has put a record of their arrival nor their departure? Because they don't deserve. Perhaps they all very much belong to the tribe of Solomon Grandees. Solomon Grandee, born on Monday, christened on Tuesday, married on Wednesday, took ill on Thursday, verse on Friday, died on Saturday, buried on Sunday. This is the end of Solomon Grundy. Only such Solomon Grundys constituted the population of Greeks or Romans. The modern historians of European origin may sing the glory of Greek civilization or Roman civilization in any way that they want. But Indian philosophy of life, Indian value system, Indian way of fixing a position for either a civilization or an individual in the galaxy of nations or in the galaxy of individuals doesn't agree with the Western historian. If Greeks were so great, Romans were so great, nothing would have disturbed their continuity of existence. What happened? One stroke, Greeks are gone. One stroke, Romans are gone. 41 out of 43 civilizations, just in one stroke, they all have gone blotted out. They have disappeared from the world stage, never to return again. What about India? Here comes the beauty of this question, or the beauty of this subject. What about India? When from Indian civilization started, history has no record. Peep into the gloom past, the gloomy past, peep into the gloomy past. You will have no record. Did India come first or civilization came first? A true historian, an unprejudiced historian, will find this question absolutely relevant. He would orient himself very much towards solving this problem. Why India can survive in spite of blow after blow, blow after blow, severe blows being inflicted upon that, almost on every decade, or at least every half a century, or every quarter century, at least in the last millennium, second millennium, we suffered indescribable attacks, invasions, etc., etc. Every phase of national glory got disturbed, damaged, torn to pieces. They were frightened as though their very existence was being threatened. But India survives. India survives. Remember, either a civilization or an individual has got a way, has got a direction to move along. How much of distance you have covered, that is not the criterion for you to be counted great. What direction, how much you moved in the right direction. Movement along a direction is nothing. Movement in the right direction is 100 times more important than the extent to which we covered in a particular direction. If you move in the wrong direction, more you move, more damaging it will be, more dangerous it will be, more threatening it will be. You could have better stayed yourself, or you could have better put yourself at zero level. That would have been a much prudent move. So these are the subtleties in history. European historian can never understand all those things. Indians could understand. Indians could understand because God has bestowed upon us the greatest intellectual capacity compared to any other race, any other region. I am not a chauvinist. I am a truthist. I am not a fanatic. On issues of this type, the great Vivekananda is the greatest authority. The first Asian to get Nobel Prize, Rabindranath Tagore says, if you want to know India, study Vivekananda. Tagore was not a fool, was not a mediocre, could not be moved into emotional outbursts, must be a man who has got tremendous judging powers, a discerning man who could weigh things based on their merit only without importing to things any personal emotional touches, smearing to things any sort of individual, what I should say, idiocracies. But this Tagore says, if you want to know India, study Vivekananda. So Vivekananda says, my country had reached the zenith of civilization, even while Europe was still living on the branches of trees. Leave aside Vivekananda, an extraordinary patriot. Sometimes patriots will be moved to give utterances of this type. Leave aside Vivekananda. Let us go to an Englishman, the man that ruled India for about 7-8 years, who was ruthless in treating Indians. The man that partitioned Bengal, Lord Curzon. After his retirement, after his relinquishing his office as Viceroy of India, he went to Oxford and became Chancellor there. Wrote a book on India. What does Lord Curzon say? Empires existed and flourished in India when European colonies were still in oblivion. Europe never knew the fundamentals of civilization. Indians had made remarkable progress on lines of civilization, science, technology, and all that. Curzon says, you still deny the truth? You still reject this truth? Because Indians have a tendency. They never accept anything very easily when it sings about the glory of India. When it demeans India, readily they will accept. And even while the glory of India is being sung, a Westerner should sing, otherwise Indians won't accept it. Anything of Indian origin is condemnable. But the truth is contrary. This very Vivekananda says, anything of Indian origin you first accept and then verify. Anything of Western origin you first verify and then accept. Show me one single Western invention, scientific invention that has come from the West, which never deserved, which never needed an improvisation later. One single scientific discovery that never needed any sort of an improvisation later. J.J. Thomson comes, within 50 years his philosophy falls. Some other person comes, his philosophy falls. Newton comes, his philosophy falls. But they never gave defective philosophies. I don't mean to say that. They never gave defective philosophies. They gave an incomplete philosophy. There came a person by name William Jones, along with Warren Hastings, the first Governor General of India. I am giving a bit long introduction for the subject. Be tolerant. These things are not directly connected with the subject that I am supposed to speak upon. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. But unless I give this introduction, you will not be in a position to enjoy the later utterances, later expressions of mine in a way that deserves to. There came a man along with Warren Hastings by name William Jones. One day he came to Warren Hastings. The conversation is very much interesting. Hastings, we came to India to take away the wealth of India. But you know where the real wealth lies? It lies in Sanskrit literature. Not in KGF gold mine, not in some other gold mine. Kohinoor, crown, throne, crown. Every Raja has several thrones, crowns and all that. Diamonds are there, pearls are there. No doubt all these wonderful, beautiful, fertile lands are there. All those things are there in India. But remember, the greatest treasury of India is in Sanskrit literature. We should carry to England first this treasure. Later will come other treasures. Hastings said, okay, go ahead. What is the plan you have in your mind? I give all the encouragement you want. He was Governor General of India at that time. Hastings was Governor General. And the man was William Jones, who came as Chief Justice of Supreme Court in Calcutta, of then India. An extraordinary man. William Jones was an extraordinary, he knew 50 languages. He could converse in 50 different languages at the age of 35. What is the plan you have for taking away all the treasures of India? Let us establish one center here, research center, and let us dive deep into Sanskrit literature and take away all the pearls. That was sanctioned. Asiatic Society of Calcutta came into existence. Even today it remains. Some 2-3 years ago, I had paid a visit to Asiatic Society. Later, Asiatic Society branch in London came, in Paris came, in Moscow came. The whole of founders of Berlin University were very much possessed by the beauty and the grandeur of Indian thought. Whole Europe was in a bit revolution, in a sense, was revolutionized. Even American founding fathers of American culture could not escape from the influence of this Asiatic society. Emerson came under the influence. Henry David Thoreau, Walt Whitman, the founding fathers of present-day American culture. They started one Concord movement, transcendental movement. German thoughts as distilled from India. German thoughts, Indian thoughts were combined, and that Walt Whitman has composed a beautiful poetry that bears the title Brahma, and you find the description of Brahma there. Henry David Thoreau went to the banks of River Lawrence in America, established one cottage there, started dipping himself in Indian spiritual thought, and at one point of time, he pays tribute to Vedas. And what was the sort of the tribute that he paid? One sentence in the Vedas is worth the state of Massachusetts many times over. That is the tribute that he paid. You know, Massachusetts University is a repository of all leading academic institutions in the world today. Harvard University is there. Harvard School of Economics is there. Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, is there. Harvard School of Law is there. All these things are there in Massachusetts. That is brain of America. Many such Massachusetts put together can be equal to one sentence in the Vedas. Was Curzon wrong? Was William Jones wrong? Was Vivekananda wrong? I gave such a long introductory note for the reason this is India. When Alexander was about to set forth on a campaign to India for conquering India, he went to his guru Aristotle to seek his blessings. Aristotle was not very much happy with the move that Alexander had undertaken. But at the same time, he blessed his disciple too. But he gave a little bit of advice. See, Alexander, India is not a country to go and conquer. It is the seat of knowledge always in the history of man. Ever since the dawn of civilization, India has been contributing immensely for the store of knowledge, very precious knowledge, complete knowledge, which when understood and studied, man becomes an extraordinary man. The one magic man can produce in his life is to take to the studies of Indian thought. Many Europeans were of this opinion. They were of the same opinion. This was told to him by his guru Plato, and that was told to Plato by his guru Socrates. And you can trace back this sort of a sentiment being prevalent in Greek populace to even, you can go back still further. Because they were all influenced by Persians, and Persia and India, they were in close cultural, cultural affectionate bond. So, Asiatic society came into existence. And what is that? Yes, Alexander was told by Aristotle, that is the sort of India that you should have in your mind before you set your foot on the soil of India there. Yes, the name of India, strictly speaking, is Bharat. Bha in Sanskrit means light. Rat means engaged. People that are always engaged in the production, manufacture, and spread of light, that is Bharat. This is land of knowledge. This William Jones, of course, Alexander comes, gets some philosopher, and Aristotle continued to say, go to India, get some great philosophers from there, and bring them to Greece. And if you can establish some institutions where they will be pouring out their knowledge to all the populace here, Greece will be immensely benefited. Unfortunately, Alexander did not start any university in Greece. Rather, he did it in a place in Egypt, which later came to be known as Alexandria. The famous Alexandrian University came into existence. It did its service marvelously to the masses of Europe, but unfortunately, it fell to the fanatic wrath of some fanatic man, and today it is only a memory. So this is India. This is India. This India has found out hundreds of ways, thousands of ways, whereby man can be really very happy all through his existence. It is your innate nature that you can always be blissful. If you are not blissful, then you have not properly understood the way of life that you were supposed to. You don't have the right knowledge of who you are. You don't have the right knowledge of whom you should marry. You don't have the right knowledge of what sort of education you must have. Knowledge about so many things definitely is necessary. Knowledge of physics is necessary. Knowledge of chemistry, mathematics, biology, economics, all those things. Knowledge is sacred. Knowledge is necessary. But in and through all these different branches of knowledge, what is that common thing, common thread that passes? In and through all states of consciousness, today we are all in the waking state of consciousness. After 10 o'clock in the night, this state of consciousness will go. We all fall into the sleeping state of consciousness. In that sleeping state, you will have two phases, different phases. Sometimes you dream, sometimes you are in the deep state, deep sleep. Those two are two different types of consciousness. Consciousness inside, it prevails through all these different states of consciousness. Men all over the world, barring a few, are aware of only these three different types of consciousness. We don't know truly what sort of consciousness we are supposed to be in. We don't know whom to befriend with. We don't know how to unfold the concepts of family life, etc., etc. We don't know what to prioritize, what to accord the secondary position to. All these subtleties in life we fail to understand. If you don't understand subtleties behind life, remember your knowledge of life is very bleak, very minimal. When your knowledge of life itself is very, very much minimal, how do you expect your life to be a boon, a blessing? How to formulate your life? You know only a little. Life needs to be formulated. It doesn't fall upon you just like that. Nothing falls upon you just like that. The sort of the body that presently you possess is a product of so many things that you have done in the past. Your body, your mind, your knowledge, the things that you are interested in, the things that you are not interested in, all these things, remember, are the consequences of something that you did, that you were in the past. Life is one, but that one life spreads across several births. This is the first lesson in Bhagavad Gita. Life is one, no doubt, but that is spread through hundreds of births. 84 lakh births, Indian scriptures say. One birth spreads across hundreds and thousands of births. And the life you have led in one birth has a direct bearing upon the sort of the man that you are going to be in the next birth. The karma philosophy we know. Sanchita karma, agami karma, prarabdha karma. All this you need to know because all these things pertain to life. The present individual that you are is only a tip of the iceberg. Tip cannot constitute the be-all and the end-all of the whole of the iceberg. In fact, tip is a puppet at the hands of the iceberg that is unseen because it is a million times more massive than what is visible. So, what is the concept that you have about your family? Kutumbam. What concept you have? And how to be happy? Remember, in English language, there are two sorts of words. One is individual and the other one is person. Everyone is an individual, but all are not persons. Individual is a man who lives like a billiard ball. The only relation that a billiard ball will have with other billiard balls is collision. That is the only relation. Most of us, either we collide with ourselves, what I am today will always collide with what I was yesterday or what I was a few years ago. I never liked the sort of the man that I was 5 years ago. Collision with my own self, collision with my brother, collision with my colleague, collision with the atmosphere that prevails, the political institutions, social institutions, laws, norms of the land. Everything I am in collision with. This is an individual. Person is the one who transcends all these things and establishes oneself in the oneness of existence, in the unity of existence. Because, strictly speaking, you are infinite. You cannot be a multiple entity. You don't have multiple dimensions. You have only one dimension. What is that one dimension? You eternally exist. You eternally exist. You are unlimitedly knowledgeable. You are always blissful. This is all the nature that you have. All other natures, they are your own paintings upon the true nature that just now I described. You are always doing a drama. The real person is so much hidden that you never even remember him. And the part that you are playing in drama, it is so much overwhelming that you forget everything else except the part you are playing in the drama. Why you are doing? Because you have forgotten that your life is a drama and not real life. The present life that all of us are going through, they are all dramas that we are enacting. And the world is a great stage. We will be on this stage as long as our part expects us to be. Later, once our part, our character has done its play, we simply retire to the green room. And again we come when the need be. This is another most fundamental thing that we need to know about life. Even quantum physics upholds this. Erwin Schrödinger, father of quantum physics, clearly says about this. We are all consciousness, we are all conscious. And this consciousness is so much powerful, sometimes it can take human form. What is that consciousness? How it takes human form? It enters into some sort of a delusion, and the Atman or Brahman becomes Jivatman. Atman can never become Jivatman, but it wants to be living like a Jivatman. It wants to envelop itself in some sort of an ignorance. Because it wants to put itself into the world of multiplicity. But strictly speaking, world of multiplicity can neither be created nor can be found. But some sort of a delusion grips us all and we enjoy being in the world of multiplicity. We never want to be the whole. We always want to be a part. That is why the whole creation is a delusion. Because it is a huge mass of parts. Variety of parts, variety of parts. Vedanta describes all these things so beautifully. Vivekananda's talk about the subject, the real and the apparent man, that he delivered in New York, sheds light upon all these things. And the beauty of the story is that, remaining as a part, we want to enjoy the beauties of the whole. We want to remain a part. We want to remain a part. And still enjoy the glory, the grandeur of the whole. We want to enjoy the glory of the whole. Therefore, we go on multiplying our desires. Let me become the emperor of this world. I am not satisfied. I have become emperor of whole earth is under my suzerainty, but I am not happy. Because thereby, I have not conquered the whole universe. I want to conquer the universe. And yet I want to remain a part only. I want to remain a part. This is contradiction. Among the various definitions of Maya, Maya means contradiction also. I want to be a part and enjoy the glories of the whole. Will it ever be possible? One day, you have to sacrifice the desire of being a part. That is called tyaga. That is renunciation. One day, you must give up the desire of being a part. You must develop the desire of being the whole. You want to enjoy the beauties of whole and yet remain a part is contradictory. It can never happen. Therefore, you have to renounce your desire to be a part. Na karmana na prajaya dhanena tyage naike amrutatvama nashuhu, sings Mahanarayana Upanishad. You may become an emperor, na karmana, by your work, lot of work. So much of work you have done. Prajaya, wonderful children you have got, kith and kin you have got. Dhanena, wealthy. So wealthy you are. Nothing of this sort can give you the immortality or the infinitude. You want to be infinite. You are seeking infinitude. And yet preserve the desire to be finite. What sort of a senseless thing is this? That is how things are. So somehow man comes to know, by expanding his consciousness, his joy will increase. The day he develops that strong desire to expand his consciousness, some sort of an attitude will come to prevail in him. That attitude we call as love. He wants to expand his consciousness. He wants to expand that definition of I. I want to be very happy. Till now, he was saying like this, I want to be very happy. From now on, he says, we want to be very happy. This I is getting converted into we. The day this desire becomes very strong, he searches for the suitable companion. Finds one. Normally, the companion will be a girl if the person is a boy, and the companion will be a boy if the person is girl. This results in the wedlock, marriage, because he wants to multiply himself. He wants to live not in one single body. He wants to live and fulfill all his aspirations, not just through one body, but in multiple bodies. And the process begins with increasing the number of bodies by another one, and that another one is wife. And one system, or system that consisted of only one person, becomes system that from now on, consists two individuals, two people. Family starts. After some time, these two people will develop another desire. If we just be two, that won't suffice. We need to be three, and a child will come. We need to be four, the second child will come. We need to be five, if such desires are very rare today, at least in India. Four, there stops everything, the whole process will start. And all the four start living together under one roof. The joys and sorrows of one in the system will be shared by all. And it is good that things are being shared, because joy, when shared with others, will increase in its quantum. If I share my joy with others, the intensity of joy in me will increase. That's what exactly I want. If I share my misery with others, the intensity of misery in me will lessen. This is exactly what I want. But unfortunately, here the whole process stops. The number of persons that are in the system, in the family, gets stopped when it becomes four. There are some great men who do not want to stop this system at mere four as the number of people. They want to embrace the whole universe. When Buddha came to palace, after 12 years of monastic life, in Indian monastic discipline, there is an injunction. After taking sannyas, a sannyasi is supposed to visit the pre-monastic house after 12 years of his sannyasa life. I also visited my parental home next day after I completed my 12th year of sannyasa. Why I hurried? I did not hurry. My people hurried. They were waiting for the completion of 12 years. The day 12th year was completed, they literally kidnapped me to my native place, and I talked about the good and bad of all the people there, spent about a few hours, and later came back to Bangalore. There is an injunction sort of a thing. Buddha also followed this and went to Kapilavastu, went to the palace. Shuddhodana was there, Rahula was there, Yashodhara was there. Everyone came and offered obeisance. Last to come was Yashodhara. Lips are trembling, throat is choked, tears are profusely flowing down, fingers are shaking. She manages to approach Buddha, who was seated like an emperor among renunciates, most radiant face, smiling, joyous, radiating joy, because light unto world, he was light unto mankind. Basically, his very frame was of royal nature. He was very tall and strong. Buddha was a very tall man and well built. Prince he was, born prince. Yashodhara comes, offers her salutations, prostrates before Buddha. With voice trembling, she asks one question. Sir, I don't know how I should address you now. In earlier days, I used to address you in my own way. Now I know I can't use the same term to address you. I offer my pranams. You have become a loka guru. Being guru, you must solve the questions and riddles that arise in the minds of disciples. I have one small question lurking in my mind for the past 1 decade, 12 years. From the day you left palace, from that very day, this question is lurking in me. What is it, Yashodhara? Please ask. Buddha says. Yashodhara puts the question, a very harsh question. A person who could not take care of his own wife and son, can he take care of the whole humanity? A person who deserted his wife and child, can he be a blessing for the whole humanity? A person who immersed his wife and child into waters of grief, and the waters of grief have drenched me even today. I am not able to reconcile myself to this changing scenario even now. But you appear to be very happy. If your happy is a product of my misery, is it anything welcome? You think what you have done is right? After all, he is a Buddha. Buddha means the knower, the knowledgeable. Buddha gives the answer, which is an eye-opener for the whole humanity. That is the reason why people like him come, to open the eyes of all the people. Yashodhara, remember, I got married to you when I was 25 or so. I don't remember exactly what he said. Normally, boys get married at 25, girls after 18. Even during those days. In the days of Buddha also, that used to be so. Who was I before I got married to you? From the day I married to you, I became your husband. Earlier to that, who was I? What was I? I was a prince. I had some concerns, I had some duties towards my parents. And I was prince, I was a son. As a prince, I had duties to my citizens here, my fellow beings. As son, I had some duties to my parents. But that is as far as the present birth is concerned. In my previous birth, I had some duties to my parents, of course, all those people whom I was bonded with. In the life previous to that, same thing gets repeated. He repeats the same description. In and through all these things, there is one thing that I have been constantly related to. You know what is it? Mankind. Through every birth of mine, I have been related to mankind. I have been related to the nature outside. I have been related to the values in life. I have been related to knowledge in life. I have been related to doing something good for others. There is nothing that is more good. There is nothing that is better than knowledge to be given to anyone in this world. Therefore, finally I decided I must serve this mankind by giving them the best of the knowledge that they can ever aspire for. And I am giving them that knowledge. You know what is that knowledge? Study your life properly and fix your priorities. Today too I have a family, but the whole mankind is my family. If anybody dies, I don't grieve because so many others are there. Millions of others are there. Even if I die, I don't grieve because I am living through so many other bodies. There is no death for me. I am born immortal. I am born rich. I am born intellectual. I am born whatnot. Because if one person in the whole universe possesses that, it is mine. I can lay a claim to it. If only I can develop love for the others, what they have will become mine. This is true. This is true. That is why we should love God. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, you just be mine, addressing his disciples, addressing people who would approach him for spiritual knowledge, instructions in spiritual sadhanas like meditation, etc. Sometimes he used to say, you become mine. All that I have will become yours. Son has every right to claim the property that father has secured. Just like that, you become mine. Everything I have will become yours. Instead of becoming someone belonging to some great man or some king or someone of that sort, why don't you become someone who is an integral part of this Lord of the universe, who has been taking care of this universe since times immemorial, since creation itself. After all, it is He who created this universe and all that. Why don't you be one? That is the only way whereby miseries can be put an end to in human life. This is called immortality, overcoming death. Death is something that is strictly concerned only with changing one body to another. That is all the meaning of death. It is a pleasant process of casting away the old body and embracing a new body, and therefore it is a celebration, and it is not anything that can be called as an occasion for grieve at. It is an occasion to rejoice at and not an occasion to grieve at. This is Indian philosophy, but we live contrary to it. And who are all the people that belong to you? The whole universe belongs to you. And everybody comes on the stage, and after his role is played, and he goes away. Krishna puts it in a beautiful way in Bhagavad Gita. Atmaupamyena sarvatra samam pashyati Arjuna. Arjuna, see your own self in sarvatra, in everyone and in everything. See your own self. You need not see your own self in non-living bodies. At least see yourself in living bodies, at least in human beings. That is how a knowledgeable man conducts himself. Laghuchetasam, ayam nijah paro veti, ganana laghuchetasam. The small-minded people alone will think he belongs to me and he does not belong to me. Ayam nijaha paro veti. He is para and he is nija. Ganana laghuchetasam. The small-minded people think that way. Udara charitanantu, men of exalted nature, the exemplary men of eminence in the true sense of the term, a Rama, a Krishna. When Guha offered his services in the task of crossing that river, requesting Rama, Sita and Lakshmana to sit on the boat, and he helped them sail across the river, Rama wanted to give him something in return, but he never had anything. Sita wore some ornaments. Looked at Sita. in a characteristic way. Sita could understand, very intelligent girl she was, took away one necklace sort of a thing and put it in the hands of Rama. Rama wanted to give it to Guha because you should never accept any help from anyone. Whatever help you have received, it should be paid back. This is one of the strict injunctions in Indian philosophy of life. But Guha did not accept it. It is my privilege that such a great man, great soul like you, Rama, you are sitting, you sat in my boat. We became sanctified. I became sanctified. My boat became sanctified. It became a heaven. How can I expect anything from you? Any amount of compelling Rama, Guha to accept something, he did not yield. Rama became so much moved. He hugged Guha, embraced Guha affectionately, and looking towards Lakshmana, Rama says, Lakshmana, from now onwards, we are 5 brothers and not 4. Come on, clap. Just one small act of human fervor enabled Guha to become a brother of Rama. Lakshmana, from now onwards, we are 5 brothers. See Guha, what a virtuous fellow he is, how compassionate he is, how sensitive he is. He understood my sad plight, that today I am bereft of everything. I don't have royal luxuries. He has so much of sense in him that he feels he should not expect anything from me, and in the hour of crisis, he must help me. All these subtle things could lurk into his mind, and he acted up to that great ideal. What a great man he is. He is a brother of us. Another occasion comes. After return from Lanka, day after day, there used to be a festive atmosphere in the palace of Ayodhya. All sorts of dishes will be prepared, food items, hundreds of food items, most delicious food items will be prepared. Rama, Sita, Lakshmana will be fed because for 14 years, they never had tasted any delicious food. What they had eaten were roots of some plants, some sort of fruits. Sometimes they could not take anything. They had to drink some water, and there the whole process should come to an end. That sort of situations they had gone through several times. Now that they have returned to palace, day after day, there is going to be a festival. And later, there was an invitation from Mithila, Rama's in-laws' house, Sita's parental house. There also the process continued. And one day, when everyone was enjoying some joke or some sort of, everyone was having some light atmosphere, after the noon lunch was taken, somebody asked a question to Rama, Rama, how was food? Was it good? How was the food? Rama says, food was excellent. Every day, you have been feeding me with most delicious food. Even in Ayodhya, my mother Kaushalya went on feeding me with rarest of rare foods. So delicious. If you don't mind, can I say something? Everybody's ears became very much sensitive. Eagerly, they were waiting what Rama would say. Rama says, remember, nobody's food is as delicious as the food that was prepared by Shabari. It is Shabari that prepared the best of delicious food. Poorest woman during those times. Poorest woman, poorest among poor. What would she have used for preparing food to Rama? Very poor lady, poorest of the poor. We get the description of how Shabari treated Rama. Most wretched lady, poor, very poor lady. But the food that was prepared by Shabari was the most delicious Rama ever tasted in his lifetime. Because her feeling heart imparted all this. This is Indian history. Greek history is different. Roman history is different. Persian history is different. Indian authors found such things as Ramayana, found such episodes as we come across in Ramayana. Consider the episodes that we come across in Mahabharata as worth cherishing in memory, and therefore they imparted the status of history to it. Indian history, we have only 2 books that would that would be counted as history of India, Ramayana and Mahabharata. All other things, they are there to serve their own limited purposes. They simply record the occurrence of some events, but they are not histories. History should record such incidences and episodes which I must remember all through my life and try to calibrate myself with the sort of happenings that those episodes will reveal out. Can I live like Rama, so grateful to a person who did that minimum help? Can I be so compassionate? Can I be so magnanimous? Can I be so impartial as Krishna, who would never hesitate to punish even his own kith and kin when he deviated from the right path? When Arjuna was hesitating to kill Kauravas, what did Krishna say? They are not your cousins. They are not your kith and kin, remember. It is only an ordinary man will establish his relations based on the blood connection. Genetic relations, blood relations will not be counted as the basis of relation at all. Arjuna, all the virtuous men belong to one family and all the vicious belong to another family. Kauravas are related, but in terms of the blood. That is not the basis upon which you need to count your cousins, consider cousins. The real family of mine is the one which embraces all the virtuous men on this earth. That is why I killed my own maternal uncle. I never had any pity on him. That is why I killed Shishupala, son of my maternal aunt. Who is Duryodhana to you? Ruthless fellow, most wretched fellow, a great deviant from the right path. Kill him first. This is how we have to relate ourselves with people there. So all the great men, all the virtuous men, irrespective of the geographical affiliation, religious affiliation, linguistic affiliation, racial affiliation, all the virtuous men in the world, they belong to my family. My own family people, if they don't care about values, they have no place in my family. This is the right attitude you must have. And try to see your own self in as many such people as possible. The people that mean right, that mean a lot for the welfare of the mankind at large. Friends, this is the sort of the concept that family had through the Indian philosophy of life. Various concepts we have. But the scriptural sanction has got only to definitions of this sort. Ordinary definitions are there. Ordinary people cling to such definitions. They follow it. They have their own kicks. They have their own joys. They have their own ups and downs. But if you stick to this sort of a philosophy, your life will become a constant festival. Every day will become a festival because you know the truth behind all such things. And when truth is pursued, it will never desert you. Unfortunately, we pursue things that have nothing to do with the truth, and we pay the dividend for that. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you, Swami, for your elaborate and inspiring exposition on the topic Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Now we would like to call upon Sri Rajaram Sir, an elder staff of our institution who has been with us for over 5 decades, to offer a token of our love and gratitude to you.